Today we are making what seriously may be the easiest, tastiest, and most versatile Italian sauce ever. We are making Pappa al Pomodoro sauce. Hey guys, thanks for joining us. If this is your first time tuning in, let us know you're out there by giving us a big thumbs up below and then hit that subscribe button to make sure you never miss a video. Now, let's start cooking. So this sauce that we're about to do is called Pappa alla Pomodoro sauce, but it's based on a dish called Pappa alla Pomodoro soup, which is basically a Tuscan farmer's bread soup. It's typically used at the end of the tomato growing season so that you can use up all of the extra tomatoes that you had. And you know, it's based on some crusty bread, some leftover baguette, that kind of thing, to thicken it up. And so we've taken that basic recipe and we are now making it into a sauce that is very, very versatile. But the thing about this particular dish is not the actual, it's not spices, it's not seasoning, it's not extra things. It's really the ingredients. And it's using great ingredients and cooking them slowly and getting the most out of those ingredients. So the basic ingredients for this are onions and garlic, and I've got some red onions, and I like using red onions for this, and they have been sliced thickly, so maybe about a quarter of an inch thick slices on the onions. In this case, I've got 2 red onions here. I've got 2 cloves of garlic here that I've just sliced up. Doesn't matter how thick, thin. All of this will get blended in at the end. And I've got some basil leaves from a couple of sprigs of basil. And we've taken the sprigs out because we're actually going to be blending that into the soup at the end, or into the sauce at the end. And then I've got some tinned tomatoes here. And now you can use fresh whole tomatoes, or you can use tinned tomatoes. It doesn't really matter. In this case, I've used tinned tomatoes, and you could use a combination of, you know, if it's at the end of your tomato growing season, you could use some fresh tomatoes and some tinned tomato or canned tomatoes. And then we will add some tomato concentrate into the mix. You could use some canned tomato paste if you want. The extra concentrate is very good. It's just going to build some nice flavor in there. And then we'll finish it by just throwing in some of the, like I said, you can use crusty, you know, leftover day-old stale bread, or a croissant, not croissant, but baguette to finish the soup with. And to start the soup, we're going to use some good Italian olive oil, some good olive oil. Doesn't have to be extra virgin, but it needs to be a good extra virgin olive oil that you can cook with. So those are our ingredients, and we'll get started with our sauce. To get this sauce started, we are using a cocotte, or a Dutch oven, and this is a medium-large one, I guess. And what I'm going to do is just toss in my onions and garlic, and they're just along the bottom of the pan there. And now what we'll do is we just want to cover those basically with oil. And I know it seems like a lot of oil, but this will really get used up during the making of the sauce. So that's basically what we need to do to get started. We'll add just a little bit of salt to that, just to start to bring out some of the moisture and to start cooking breaking those onions down. So this first step, we are literally going to basically confit these onions. And confit means cooking long and slow in oil. So that's what we're doing. We're probably going to let this go for 30-35 minutes. And all we want to do is get these onions and garlic very nice and soft and translucent. We're not frying them. We're not sauteing them. We are basically confiting them. Confit, C-O-N-F-I-T, is a French word meaning to cook slow in oil. So that's what we're going to do over a low heat and we'll come back when these onions are nice and soft. Our onions and garlic have been going about 10 minutes now, and so you do want to just kind of reach in and stir them around about every 10 minutes or so. And now let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and toss in our basil leaves. And we will let those start cooking into our mix. And you can already tell how nice and soft they're getting. I can't stress enough how important this step is, to actually take your time and let the flavor develop during this stage, because you just wouldn't believe the difference in the aroma now than it was when we first started. I mean, you've got the aroma here of these incredible red onions getting nice and soft. They're going to be very, very sweet. And then this beautiful garlic and the extra virgin olive oil. It's just a really, really great mixture of flavors. So that's what this, again, that's what this soup depends on, is this time that you take at the beginning to let this oil do its work and bring these flavors out and develop that good, deep, richness in this soup. Okay, after the next 15 minutes, you can take a look at this and see how nice and soft these onions are, and just how, oh, absolutely delicious. Such good flavor. It's time to go ahead and add our tomato paste. So we'll just get that stirred in. And now we'll add, what we're going to do is we're going to add our tomatoes. And just to make sure you understand what's going on here, using this tomato paste, it's kind of like making a roux and using flour. You want to go ahead and make sure that that is thoroughly mixed in and actually kind of cooked out some of the rawness of that tomato paste. It's kind of like cooking the rawness out of flour. So we'll stir that around for a little bit. And now I'm just going to add the tomatoes in. I'm not going to put all the juice in just yet. I'm just going to add the whole tomatoes in, and we'll let those cook and break down for probably 20 minutes or so. And then we'll come back in and add our sauce, our juice, and maybe a little bit of water, because this should get quite thick. And now we'll go ahead and bring our heat up just a little bit while those get broken down. But we don't want to rush this process, because we're still developing flavors. So, and if you want to at this point, you can certainly go through and start helping these to break down by just crushing them a little bit. And if you don't, even if you don't have whole tomatoes, you could certainly use crushed tomatoes, and it'll just cook that much faster. But long, slow cooking is what actually develops flavor. So we will let these, we're just going to bring them up to a nice simmer and let them cook to develop that flavor. It's been about 25 minutes that we put our tomatoes in, and just want you to look at what's going on here. We've got some nice, simmering going on. And now as I scrape around the bottom of this, I can feel a little bit of the tomatoes kind of getting stuck to the bottom. They're not getting burnt by any means, but what basically just means they're getting cooked down and the sugars are coming out. And wow, the aroma again is just increasing. It's just unbelievable. Just beautiful. All right, so now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and add our sauce from the tomatoes, from the original can of tomatoes. And what I've done is actually gone ahead and filled up or put about half of the can's worth of water in here, just to thin it down. And if we need to thin it down some more, we certainly can. But this is going to be our next step onto this sauce. We're going to bring this to a nice simmer, let this simmer again for another 10-15 minutes, and then we will put our bread in.
Hey everybody, it's Walter from Artistic Gourmet Adventures. My wife Kim and I own this unique small group tour company where we host groups of 6 to 12 guests for one-week luxury adventures in beautiful locations throughout Europe and the United States. I have the privilege of being the adventure chef, creating and preparing daily gourmet meals for our guests. So, in this video series, from our cozy home kitchen here in the beautiful Loire Valley of France, we will demonstrate a wide variety of recipes, from culinary classics to originals, as well as covering professional kitchen techniques for the home chef. For more information on Artistic Gourmet Adventures, check our website, linked in the description below.
Our tomato mixture now has been going for about 25 minutes and brought it to a nice simmer and a low boil. And 25 minutes is a good amount of time to let this go. And you can see it's kind of it's starting to come together a little bit, but it's going to really come together once we blend it. So at this point, what we'll do is I'm going to turn it on very, very low, as low as it can go, and now we'll just put in our bread, our stale bread. And again, normally you would use you can use a crusty stale, a baguette or something like that. In this case, because we are a gluten-free household, I'm using actually some gluten-free bread. So we'll just put that in and let that get soaked very well with this tomato sauce. And now we'll actually just turn the heat off. We'll turn the fire completely off. And I'm just going to cover this and let that soak in for about 10 minutes or so. Our soup has been covered up and been soaking for a few minutes. And look at that. That's what it should look like. Doesn't look all that appetizing, but just because I know it's appetizing, I think it looks great. So now we'll just bring it over. And anytime you're going to do this, go ahead and put your pot on a surface that's non-slip. And now what we'll do is just blend it. And so what we're looking for here is a sauce consistency. So I'm just going to start with and then I'm using an immersible blender. If you didn't have an immersible blender, you could always use a stand blender and do this 2 cups at a time. Just put that into your stand blender, mix it up, put that in another bowl, put another 2 cups inside, mix that up, put it in another bowl, and so forth until you're done. But you can see why it's so convenient to have an immersible blender. So everything is in there, all the leaves, everything, just like we started it. And now we'll just blend it up. I'm going to start on low. Just to kind of get things moved around. So now that we've got everything pretty much broken down, I'm going to go ahead and increase my speed to high. And again, we're looking for a nice sauce consistency here with no lumps or anything like that. Oh, nice. Very nice. All right. I'm going to continue to blend for a little bit, and we'll get this to that nice silky consistency that we're looking for. Okay. That is what we're looking for. And let me just say a word about submersible blenders. I would really suggest that you have a submersible blender that's at least 800 watts or more powerful, because that's going to give you the best chance for the most consistent blend, and it also makes for just a very, very smooth emulsion when you're blending, a sauce or a soup or something like that. So now, just for the final seasoning of our soup, we, well, look at that nice saucy. Oh, nice. Okay. So I'm going to do one more quick little taste. Okay. So now it's actually very, very well balanced. I can tell it needs a little bit of salt. So now you have a choice at this point. You can just add a little bit of salt if you want, or you can do a little blend. I've done a little Tuscan blend here, and it's just some salt with some of my favorite dried Tuscan herbs, such as basil, some thyme, some oregano, that kind of thing, and just put them in the spice blender and blend those together like that, and that gives us a really nice seasoning. And let's see where we are with that. Very nice. It's perfect. So we're ready to give it a taste. Okay, we've got our pasta. We've got a little bit of tagliatelle that we've cooked, and now we've added a bit of our Pappa sauce over the top, and now we're just going to shave a little bit of 12-month aged Parmesan, and this is a really nice finish for a sauce like this. All right, so we've got our cheese, and we'll just finish it with a little basil leaf on top. And there we have it. All right, it's my favorite time of day. It's time to taste this sauce. And again, we've paired it with some tagliatelle pasta and some freshly grated Parmesan over the top. And let's give it a taste. Man, I'm telling you, to be such an easy to make sauce with so few ingredients, the depth of flavor is just uncanny. It's just so delicious. And like I said, it's a very versatile sauce. You can use this with gnocchi, you can use it with chicken parm, you can just put it over pasta. It's just so very versatile. And today we're pairing this with the red wine with a sauce like this. And what I'm doing today, there's no meat or anything involved. It's just the sauce over some pasta, and it pairs great with a medium body dry red. And the one we're using today is a Sangiovese grape. And a Sangiovese is an Italian grape that you may see under the name Brunello, di Montalcino, gosh, there's so many different ones. Chianti, all these different regions in Italy grow the Sangiovese grape, as well as some in California. So give that a try next time you have an Italian sauce. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more, give us a thumbs up below and hit that subscribe button. It's free. And ring the bell if you want to be notified as soon as we release a new video. Also, let us know in the comments if you have any special recipe requests. We really appreciate you tuning in. See you next time.